even in those moments, I wasn't sure how I had gotten there, but I think that for so long I was so lonely, and I so just desired to have what I thought was a normal life.
My insides was probably so disgusting that outside I was just trying and trying and trying and trying, and when I would burn out, I would fume such toxic things.
You guys, I'm back with another video. It's Southern Belle from the city. As I've said in some previous videos, I've been away from YouTube, and this is more going to be a video diary. So I'm just getting a knack for how I want to use this channel moving forward. But there is something that I really wanted to do, and which is talk about, just kind of turning your pain into purpose, a new here, better me. And so I collabed with some ladies. Some are written in a form that I had sent out through email to some ladies, and I do have a collab, a video from a friend of mine, Alexis, and she's gonna talk about her story. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys background on what this video will be about. So I sent out a couple questions to some ladies, and they did answer, so I will share this in a creative way. But I wanted to kind of talk about on my own answering these questions and kind of expound off of that. So I think that the better version of you is whatever you envision yourself as, that you think isn't possible. You can go and get that, but make sure that you're being yourself at full capacity. A lot of times we censor ourselves, we filter ourselves. Not that that isn't necessary sometimes, but sometimes we do it because we're afraid of what people will think, and that's the bad part. Like, if you feel like, deep in your heart, you have some issues with the way that you are, then you can make changes. But don't make changes because somebody else has a problem with it. Make changes because you wholeheartedly feel like you want to be better, and you want to grow, and you want to get rid of old habits and take on new hobbies and things like that. For a while, I had become this person that today I wouldn't even recognize, and I'm not sure how I got there. And even in those moments, I wasn't sure how I had gotten there, but I think that for so long I was so lonely, and I so just desired to have what I thought was a normal life. I felt like everybody else was moving in a speedy direction, and I just was in a standstill for so long. It felt like everyone's life was moving past me, and it just felt like everybody had something that I didn't have, and I really wasn't sure what exactly I was missing. So I tried to do what other people were doing, and that became drinking and drugs and lustful actions. Y'all know, dating and living, shacking up and all that kind of stuff, because it just felt like everybody had something I didn't have. They had love and relationships, they had friendships, they had, pictures that they were taking and posting on social media, and, I just felt like I didn't have any of that. I didn't have, what the world seemed like was normal. And so I felt like that I had to do the things that they were doing, or try them. But what began to be trying became habits, and I began to be in this world that I didn't know. I felt like that it didn't feel like it was me, but I couldn't stop. And now I have to figure out who I am as an adult. I can't go back to who I was before, because so long I've been one way after adolescence, that I can't go back to who I was. So I have to now create what seems like a new version of me. But the more that I settle into it, and the more that I lean into God, and the more that I try to cut out some of those things that I had got accustomed to, I realize that this is who I've always been. I'm just becoming a better version of myself. At the core, I'm a compassionate, and I'm strong, and I'm very loving, and that's me. You know what I mean? It's not the things that I was doing. What you do is not you, because it can always change. What I was doing wasn't me. Who I am and how I treat people, and who my family is and things like that, that's me. and now I'm just creating a better version of that. So I think in order to find out like a better version of ourselves, we have to go back to who we are and go back to the root of ourselves, go back to the beginning and where things went wrong, and kind of, really nurture your inner child and figure out like at the root of it, like who am I? And then you can expound off of that and create something that's, better suited for your life now, but that fits, into your core values and, meshes, and it feels good to your spirit.
It has been such a journey indeed, many ups and many downs, many moments where it's just like this, but it was not like the simple point A to B situation I thought it was going to be. I can draw many points from my story, but the biggest thing that I've learned was to stop living from scarcity and start living from abundance. And for so long, I lived as if I was less than. I didn't like myself. I didn't love myself. I like to do the aesthetically pleasing thing to take care of myself, but I wasn't having soul care. Like self-care aesthetically, I was taking care of, but I wasn't doing soul care. And my insides was probably so disgusting that outside I was just trying and trying and trying and trying, and when I would burn out, I would fume such toxic things. And so I could only paint on this face and keep going for so long, and I got to a point where I couldn't hold up the charade anymore. I would hit moments where it was like everything would fall apart, and I would have this big dramatic moment, make it how I'm going to change, and then I end up right back in the same situation a year or two later, and I got tired of living my life on repeat. I got tired of having the same situations with a different setting. I got tired of having the same disappointment, the same hurt, and I wanted better. And for so long, I was saying I was hurt because this person did this to me, or this person did that, or I didn't have this when I was growing up, or I wasn't able to have that. And it was pretty much reflected back on me. How long are you going to keep holding yourself in this jail that you're creating until you release yourself so you can be better for you? I have dreams of being a mother and a business owner and a wife or girlfriend and a better friend, and I can't do any of those things until I start to deal with what is deep inside, that I keep piling stuff on to start pushing that down. There's both a greatness and a deep sorrow I felt deep inside of me, but I kept pushing it down by limiting beliefs and not loving myself and continuously hurting myself and letting the wrong people around and not making the right decisions, and again, limiting beliefs that I couldn't have any better nor that I deserve better.
So my pain has impacted my purpose in so many ways. If you didn't know, about my weight loss journey and things like that journey started, out of a really dark place, a really long pain that I've had for years, that had, caused me a lot of heartache in many different ways. It impacted my life in a lot of different ways. I can't remember being not overweight since I was 7. After 7, I gained a lot of weight, and I just kept gaining my whole life. There wasn't a point, some ladies were like, oh, I had a baby and then I gained a lot of weight, or, oh, I got on birth control when I was a teenager and then I gained a lot of weight, or, oh, I had an injury and then I gained a lot of weight. I always was, I was always the chubby girl. I was always the girl that, would go out with her girlfriends, and, there'd be a cute guy and the guy would overlook me and go to the other girls, I was always the girl that, got, people talked about fat people in class, and everybody would start laughing, and then they would go, oops, and they would look at me. And, that's even worse than just saying, hey, you're fat. I feel like, which I had dealt with that too, you know what I mean? But it was the pity of that they didn't want to talk about fat people around me. It was blatantly obvious. They would say something about fat people and then look, and then somebody would bump somebody's elbow. It's something that I really, really dealt with. But now that I'm able to have overcome it years later, I have the experience that people need to resonate with. When I help my clients and I'm training people and I'm coaching them along on their journey, it's different when you have a trainer and they're like, you can do it, you have 5 more push-ups to go, you can move your body, or you can lose this weight, you just got to stay consistent, like, you're gonna be like, or they say, I understand. You're like, you don't understand. Like, and how do you know my body's going to be capable of this? But, now I'm able to say, like, I've been where you've been. I've cried the tears that you have cried. I felt the pain that you feel, and I got through it. And that's how I know that you're able to do it, that your body is capable, and that I'm able to resonate with you when you're feeling the way that you're feeling. But it's because that I had that experience that I don't want you to continue to go through that. So it just really helps me to be able to do what I do. My pain goes beyond, my weight loss. And this channel will not be about, all about weight loss. I have so much to share that we'd be here all day if I did, but, I really want to use this platform to empower young ladies. So, there's so much that I have to share about, relationships and toxic relationships and emotionally abusive relationships and, lots of things that women go through on a daily basis that I have experienced, unfortunately. But I believe that pain is going to really bring out a beautiful testimony. It already has in some ways. Some things that I haven't shared publicly that I feel like people need to hear, that someone else has gone through it, so you're not alone. And I just feel like that my pain is going to impact someone else's life, and that is a part of my purpose, is to bring people closer to Christ, to help people spiritually and emotionally heal. And I feel like that I went through what I went through. I walked down the road less traveled so that I could empower someone. So that's what I'm here to do.
There's so many times where I think that I just was so ready for this road to be over, and it's big for me because people think when you commit suicide or you start to think about committing suicide that it's selfish or you want to leave this world, and it's not that I wanted to end my life. It's just I wanted life as I knew it to end. I didn't want to experience what I was experiencing anymore, but I wasn't ready to really pull the plug, and so I got to a point where I was forced to either face it to be better or face it to let it take me under. And I didn't want to take me under, because that equal feeling of sorrow that I had, that greatness that I felt in me, still felt stronger. And I just had to dig deep inside and decide that if I'm willing to fight for these knucklehead relationships that I'm in, then I can fight for the most important relationship with myself. I can fight for me. I can do the work. And I may get tired, I may get weary, but there is so much inside of me. And like I said, I had to stop living from scarcity and live in abundance. I had to start living as if I knew I was great, and greatness was upon me, and greatness was to come out of me, and greatness flowed within me. I had to start finding ways to fall back in love with myself. I had to get to know myself, because I've spent so many years putting on a mask, pretending to be okay, bandaging things to keep it going, and hiding things. I got tired, like my feelings and my thoughts. I wasn't okay. And I had to say I wasn't okay so I can become okay. I had to say that I wasn't okay so that I can start to search out. I needed a therapist. I had to get a coach. I needed to pray. I needed to talk to my mother. I needed to get some things out. Whatever it was I needed, I was willing to go after now, because I was tired of living from where I was, where I know I can give a little bit each day to be better.
That you don't have to fit in, you don't have to do everything that everybody's doing, you don't have to just try things and deal with the consequences later. There's so many things that I could tell the old me, because I look back on my life and I think about so many things that I did in my life that weren't necessary, that had ramifications that didn't need to happen, and they were just out of just wanting to belong somewhere, and just wanting to feel like I had, something about me going on, and trying things and doing things turned into habits that I had to later break as an adult. So, I also really wish that I would have stayed focused in school and things like that, but those just weren't my priorities at the time. I skated by, I went to school, I didn't make bad grades, but, I definitely could have focused more. So, the old me, I would say to, really focus on what the big picture is. Don't look at the times or right now. I was really all about right now and what was going on then. I wasn't looking at how that would impact me later in life, or where I would be. And if you would have told me then I would be where I'm at now, I wouldn't have believed you. So, but I just think about how much further I would be, had I stayed focused on the course. So, that's what I would tell me, and that's what I'm telling younger ladies, to just kind of stay focused and really grow into yourself, and you will come far.
My greatest advice to anybody that wants to travel to a better them: acknowledge that you can live from abundance and not scarcity. Take responsibility and control. I had gotten to a point where my life was running me and I was living by default. And I have a thing now that I say that I want to live beautifully sexy. And that's a life of balance. That's a life that's intriguing. It's desirable. I want it. There's the good, there's the bad. And it's both appeasing to the eye to appeasing to the soul. I wanted a beautifully sexy life that I'm not living by default or living a way I think I have to live. But I want to create my life. I have a vision, and I'm willing to work for that vision.
To share her story, and her name's Alexis Adams. She runs a platform called You Good Sis. The website is heyyougoodsis.com. The platform is amazing. What she's doing is so awesome. She empowers so many women. There's an honesty and transparency about her that is really refreshing, because there's not a lot of genuine people anymore, and really genuine person. So I hope that I promoted you well enough, sis, because I know you wear many hats. She's a life coach, I think, and all kinds of stuff, so she's really awesome. But I will link her website below so you can check her out. Ladies, join her Facebook page. It's an awesome platform. She does all kinds of challenges, which I hope to be a part of soon. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that it resonated with you, and if you would like to work with me further, I would love to have some other people on my channel. This really is going to be more of a video diary for me. I'm going to keep the name of Southern Belle from the City, but if you follow me on Facebook, I've kind of want to transition that away from my business, my Herbalife business, my personal training business, things like that. So this is going to be your old, big sis, little sis channel over here, Southern Belle from the City. That's me. And I thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to the connections that we all make. And please support by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. God bless.